Glosoli. I'm probably saying that wrong. By Sigur Rós. If that song doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. Wakey, wakey. Happy Saturday, folks. Polynation broadcast. We're live. Here's Lo-Fi Groovy by All India Radio. GroundZeroPlus.com. Welcome to the greenhouse. Anybody think this song sounds like Jolene by Dolly Parton? Well, if you're one of those anybody, you would be right, because that was Jolene by the Parlor Greens. I guess they don't have a singer. Interesting. Kind of like a, I don't know, almost like an elevator music kind of rendition of something that you would hear in Walmart, maybe. Sometimes I find things on the internet that speak to me. Not because I agree with them or because I'm interested in what they're talking about, but just because they're basically saying the same thing that I'm thinking. So I guess I am agreeing with it a little bit. But okay, here's the caveat. I have this video, I want to play it, by Alan Watts. But I couldn't find a version without commercials. So, because this is the most stressful video in my show, I decided to get it out of the way now. And it kind of ties in back to what I was saying earlier. At the beginning of the show, when I said wakey wakey, people are waking up. People are becoming aware. I don't really like the term woke, because then I start thinking about blue hairs and stuff. But there is definitely a level of awareness that people seem to be stumbling into in their sleepwalking states. And it's a good thing. And Alan Watts does a really good job of describing it, at least in my opinion. And so we're going to try to get through this. There's going to be commercials, heads up, fair warning. I'll do my best to cancel them out. And I don't endorse any of the ads that are on this video. They're probably going to be trying to sell us, let's see, what, VPNs or what else? You know what? For some reason, YouTube's algorithm is so retarded that it hasn't figured out yet that I don't drive a car, yet it still tries to sell me a car. Like, not just like a Kia or a Honda. It's trying to sell me a freaking Mercedes or like a Land Rover. And I'm like, YouTube, don't you, like, okay, everyone says that we're being constantly monitored. Everything you buy, sell, speak, or hear is being monitored. Well, if it is, then why the hell are you trying to sell me a car that I clearly cannot afford or never will be able to? I don't even have my driver's license. Are you listening, YouTube algorithm? Are you listening? Are you awake? Let's check this out. It's Alan Watts. It's a Polynation broadcast, by the way, if you're just tuning in. My name's Polly. And we're live every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 5 p.m. over here on GroundZeroPlus.com. Get over here, become a member, get in the chat room, and you'll be in the greenhouse. Simple as that. So let's check this out. It's Alan Watts talking about waking up.
You see, there is something very curious happening right now. And most people haven't noticed it yet. The ones who have awakened, the ones who have begun to see through the game, are simply vanishing. Not with drama, not with announcements, not with manifestos. They are just quietly stepping back, fading into the edges, choosing silence over the noise. And if you have felt this pull yourself, if you have been wondering why you can no longer stand the conversations, the parties, the performances, then what I am about to tell you may bring you great relief. Because this withdrawal is not a sickness. It is not antisocial behavior. It is actually the most natural thing in the world when someone wakes up. Let me explain what I mean by waking up. I am not talking about reading a few books on philosophy or having a nice idea about oneness. I am talking about that moment when the veil drops and you see that almost everything people are doing is a kind of sleepwalking. They are playing roles, repeating lines, moving through routines, all while completely unaware that they are asleep. Now, when you are asleep yourself, this is no problem. You fit right in. You can have conversations about nothing and feel perfectly fine. You can worry about what other people think and believe that matters. You can chase after things that have no real substance and call it success. But the moment you wake up, the moment you really see what is happening, everything changes. Suddenly you are like a person who has walked out of a movie theater into the bright daylight. And when you try to go back into the theater, when you try to sit down and watch the flickering images on the screen again, you cannot do it, because you know it is just light and shadow. You know it is not real. This is what is happening to awakening people right now. They are finding that they can no longer participate in the collective dream, not because they are superior or enlightened or better than anyone else, but because their nervous system simply cannot tolerate it anymore. You see, society operates on a kind of agreement, an agreement to pretend that the roles we play are who we really are, to pretend that the opinions we hold are actually ours and not something we absorbed from the atmosphere, to pretend that all this urgency and seriousness and striving is leading somewhere important. And everyone must participate in this pretending for it to work. It is like a play where all the actors must stay in character. But when someone wakes up, they break character. They forget their lines. They start looking directly at the audience. And this makes everyone very uncomfortable, because the awakened person can see what is really going on. They can see the fear beneath the confidence. They can see the emptiness beneath the busyness. They can see that most of what people are fighting about has nothing to do with what they think they are fighting about. When someone points at another group and says, "Those people are the problem," the awakened person sees that this is just a way of avoiding one's own darkness. When someone posts their outrage on the public square, the awakened person sees that this is just unconscious material seeking a target. When society divides itself into us and them, the awakened person sees that both sides are shadows boxing with each other. And once you see this, you cannot unsee it. You cannot go back to taking it all seriously. You cannot participate in the blame and the judgment and the righteous anger, because you understand that it is all just one big projection, one massive game of pointing at others to avoid looking at ourselves. So what does the awakened person do? They withdraw. Not because they hate people, but because staying in the game requires them to betray what they have seen.
Right now, you are letting opportunities slip away. Thousands of Canadians have already replaced their monthly salary.
Every conversation requires them to pretend they do not see what they see. Every social gathering requires them to perform a version of themselves that no longer exists. Every interaction asks them to be less than they have become. And eventually the soul says, enough. Stop pretending. Stop performing. Stop translating your depth into shallow terms just to maintain belonging. Go where you can breathe. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not running away from responsibility. This is not some kind of escapism where you go hide in a cave because life is too hard. No, this is something else entirely. This is the recognition that staying in unconscious environments actually damages consciousness. It is like asking a plant to grow in the dark. It can survive for a while, but eventually it will wither. The awakened person discovers that being around unconsciousness is not just uncomfortable, it is depleting. Every time you are surrounded by people who are asleep, you have to work very hard to maintain your own wakefulness. You have to constantly filter out the projections. You have to hold your center while chaos swirls around you. You have to remain clear while everyone else is foggy. And this takes tremendous energy. Invisible energy that no one sees or appreciates. You're doing psychological work that others are not even aware needs to be done. And after a while you realize that you are spending all your energy just trying to stay conscious in environments that are actively pulling you back to sleep. So you make a choice. You choose consciousness over belonging. You choose truth over acceptance. You choose your own inner clarity over the approval of people who cannot see what you see. And this is when the disappearing begins. First you leave social media. because you realize it is a machine designed to keep people unconscious. Every scroll is an invitation to judgment, comparison, outrage, distraction. For someone who is awakened, it feels like swimming in sewage, so you simply stop. You delete the applications, you stop checking, and suddenly you have hours of life returned to you. Then you start leaving social circles. Not with anger or announcements, you just stop showing up. Because you realize that most social gatherings are performances. People performing their success, their happiness, their opinions. And you can no longer perform. Your authentic self has emerged and it has no interest in pretending. Then you leave certain relationships. Not because you stop caring about people, but because some relationships were built on who you used to be, on the sleeping version of yourself. And now that you have awakened, there is no common ground anymore. You're speaking different languages. You are living in different worlds. Then you leave your career. This is often the most difficult one because society has convinced us that our work is our identity. But the awakened person can no longer perform the role that their job requires. They can no longer pretend to care about things that do not matter. They can no longer participate in systems they see through. And so they leave, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but they leave, because staying would mean dying in a different way. It would mean killing the consciousness they have worked so hard to develop. Now let me tell you what happens in this withdrawal, because it is not what most people think. Most people imagine that disappearing from society means becoming isolated, depressed, lonely. But for the awakened person, the opposite happens. In solitude, they finally stop being lonely. You see, there is a difference between loneliness and aloneness. Loneliness is what you feel when you are surrounded by people who do not see you. Aloneness is what you feel when you are finally free to be yourself. When the awakened person withdraws, they discover something extraordinary. They discover that they were never really with other people, even when they were physically surrounded. Because real connection requires consciousness meeting consciousness. And when you are awake in a room full of sleeping people, there is no one to meet. But in solitude, in that quiet space, away from the noise and the performance and the projection, you meet yourself. Really meet yourself. Not the version you have been performing, not the role you have been playing, but the actual living, breathing consciousness that you are. And this is not lonely. This is coming home. In this space, you can finally hear your own thoughts without the constant interference of other people's opinions. You can finally feel your own feelings without absorbing everyone else's emotions.
Out of 3,500 colors, we chose the one color to best represent 2026. Introducing.
You can finally discover what you actually want, what you actually believe, who you actually are. This is what I call the hermit phase. And it is absolutely necessary for anyone who is awakening. You cannot transform while maintaining all your old connections and commitments. You cannot become a butterfly while still living as a caterpillar. There must be a withdrawal, a cocooning, a time of deep internal work. And during this time, the awakened person is not escaping. They are integrating. They are processing all the unconsciousness they have absorbed over the years. They are healing the wounds that came from pretending to be someone they were not. They are developing the strength to stand in their truth, even when everyone around them is still asleep. This is hard work, much harder than staying asleep. Because when you are awake, you can no longer blame others for your suffering. You can no longer project your darkness onto convenient targets. You can no longer avoid your own depths by staying busy and distracted. You must face everything, all the fear, all the pain, all the ugliness that you have been avoiding. And you must do this alone because no one else can do it for you. But here is the beautiful thing. Once you have done this work, Once you have integrated your shadow and found your authentic self, you are no longer dependent on others for your sense of reality. You are no longer looking for approval or validation or belonging. You have found something much more valuable. You have found yourself. And from this place, if you choose to return to society, you return differently. Not to participate in the unconsciousness, but to offer something else, a different frequency, a different possibility. You become what I call a border dweller, someone who lives on the edge between the sleeping world and the awakened world. You are present, but not absorbed, available but not dependent, engaged but not entangled. You might work with individuals who are beginning to wake up. You might create art that speaks to the depths. You might write words that serve as maps for other disappearing souls. You might simply live your life in such an authentic way that others begin to wonder if there is another way to be. But you never return to the mainstream. You cannot. Because once you have tasted consciousness, you cannot go back to sleep. Once you have touched your authentic self, you cannot go back to performing a role. Once you have seen through the game, you cannot pretend it is real. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Is this not selfish? Should we not stay engaged and try to help wake others up? Should we not work to change the system from within? And here is what I want to say to that. You cannot give what you do not have. If you have not fully awakened yourself, if you have not done your own inner work, if you have not integrated your own shadow, then you have nothing real to offer others. You will just be one more sleeping person trying to wake up other sleeping people. You will just be projecting your own unconsciousness while claiming to be enlightened. You will just be spreading more confusion while thinking you are bringing clarity. No, the most loving thing you can do is to awaken fully yourself, to do the deep work of integration, to become genuinely conscious. And then from that place of real awakening, you can be available to others who are ready. But understand this. Most people are not ready. Most people do not want to wake up. They want to keep dreaming their dreams, playing their games, performing their roles. And that is perfectly fine. That is their right. Your job is not to wake them up. Your job is to wake up yourself. And then to be available quietly, gently, without force or evangelism, for those who are beginning to stir in their sleep. This is why the awakened are disappearing. They are going where they can be real, where they can breathe, where they can continue developing their consciousness without constantly having to defend it or explain it or dim it to make others comfortable. They are finding each other in small circles, in quiet spaces, on the margins. They are creating little pockets of consciousness in a sea of sleep. They are building alternative ways of living that do not require them to betray themselves. And this is not abandonment.
With the CIBC Smart Account, you can go back through your spending history,
Jeez.
allowing you to see your money.
I don't
make
even.
sense of it.
I don't even.
See your money clearly with the
The
CIBC
ads.
Smart Account.
Adpocalypse. Hey, CIBC, it's a great bank. Check it out. Not.
Tide OxyMax Power Pods.
Oh, now we're
one-up
gonna
the
do
cleaning
Tide.
power of liquid.
Okay.
Can it one up whatever they're doing?
I don't use Tide because it makes
Seriously?
me itchy.
One up the power of liquid, one up the toughest stains.
So I don't
Any
know
further
why they're trying to
questions?
sell Tide to me
One
because
up
they
the
know
power
it
of
makes me
liquid
itchy.
with Tide OxyMax Power Pods.
This is actually the most responsible thing they can do, because the collective does not need more people participating in its unconsciousness. It needs people who have done the hard work of waking up. It needs living examples of another way to be. It needs individuals who have found their authentic selves. So if you are feeling the pull to disappear, if you are finding it harder and harder to participate in normal society, if you are losing interest in the games and the performances and the noise, then listen to that pull. It is your soul calling you home. It is your consciousness asking for the space it needs to fully emerge. Do not fight it. Do not feel guilty about it. Do not try to force yourself to stay engaged with things that drain you. Give yourself permission to withdraw. Give yourself permission to be alone. Give yourself permission to disappear for a while. This is not permanent. You will return when you are ready. But you will return as someone different, someone whole, someone authentic, someone who can offer real consciousness rather than just more unconscious performance. And in the meantime, use your solitude well. Do the inner work. Integrate your shadow. Find your authentic self. Develop your consciousness. Because this is what the world actually needs. Not more people pretending to be awake, but people who have genuinely awakened. The spiritually awake are disappearing because they must. Because consciousness cannot develop in unconscious environments. Because authenticity cannot emerge while performing a role. Because truth cannot be found while participating in collective lies. So let them go. Or rather, if you are one of them, let yourself go. Withdraw without guilt. Disappear without apology. Be alone without loneliness. And trust that you are following an ancient pattern, a necessary pattern, the pattern that every awakening person must follow. The caterpillar must dissolve in the cocoon before it can become the butterfly. The seed must break apart in the dark soil before it can become the tree. The awakened person must withdraw from society before they can return with something real to offer. This is not the end. This is the beginning of genuine consciousness in a world that desperately needs it. But that consciousness must be developed in solitude before it can be shared in community. So disappear if you must. And know that in your disappearing, you are actually preparing something the sleeping world cannot yet see, something it will need when it begins to wake up. You are not abandoning anyone. You are pioneering. You arguing ahead to prepare the way. You are becoming what others will eventually need you to be. And that is the most loving thing you can possibly do.
Amen, Alan Watts. The most loving thing you can do is become yourself. I love that. And this whole thing about, there's a lot of, with waking up, which I still hate calling it that, or becoming aware, you got to spend a lot of time by yourself. And a huge majority of people, at least that I'm aware of, are really terrified of being alone. In fact, it's one of the most, it's probably in the top 5 fears of all humanity, is being alone. You know, no one wants to die alone. No one likes to be lonely. It's not a nice feeling. But like what Alan Watts said, aloneness and loneliness are different. Somewhat of a subtle difference, but it's definitely is worth noting. Being alone is one of the most empowering things you can do, because if you're comfortable being alone, then you don't rely on anybody else's stuff, company, ideas, thoughts. You don't need them because you have your own. And if you're not comfortable with your own self, then I can see why that would be terrifying, to be alone. It's almost like you constantly need somebody else there to validate you. It's almost as if you need someone there so that you can feel like you're there. Otherwise you don't exist in your own head. And that to me is more terrifying than being alone. Personally, I love being alone because I'm happy with who I am. And I am great company for myself. Sometimes I like to take myself out for dinner, maybe buy myself a drink, Maybe take myself for a walk down the boardwalk. Maybe take myself to a movie. Take myself home and take advantage of myself. No, I'm just kidding about that. But you can find a lot of useful things that other people can't give you when you just isolate yourself from all this noise. And by noise, I mean, well, everything. TV, radio, newspapers, people talking at the water cooler. I mean, if you find yourself not taking interest in any of those things, it's not because you're a mean person or you just don't care and you have no empathy. It's because your nervous system can't tolerate it anymore. And I know a lot of people that are struggling with being alone. And I always tell, and they hate it when I say this, but I always tell them, no one's ever really alone, okay? And usually that makes them angry because they don't think that really means anything. But the reason why I say that is because I'm with me all the time. And so is God. So no one's ever alone. I mean, there might be some sleeping people that feel alone. And it looks like they're alone to them. But that's because they're not awake. They're not aware. You don't need other people to not be alone. Just saying. I thought I would get that out of the way early in the show, and then we'll lighten the mood for the rest of the day. How's that sound? Sometimes I get a little too serious here. It's the Greenhouse. It's Saturday. It's the weekend. I got lots of good tunes. Some more clips I want to play for you. Just, I guess you could say this show is all about, like, sort of practical thinking. Maybe. Like, just do what you can do. Think what you can think. Don't spend too much time figuring stuff out. And be happy with yourself. Because everybody in the Greenhouse, we're all happy here. Come on down, groundzeroplus.com, become a member. Get in the chat room. That's the Greenhouse. Everybody here is amazing. And likely not feeling alone, especially during the broadcast. Because we chat in there, we hang out, slinging gifts and whatnot. Sometimes inappropriate jokes. Usually that's me. Yeah, we hang out. You could say that the Greenhouse is on the margins. It's where we congregate. And I love it here. And the more people that come here, the better. The doors are always open. No judgment. So, there you go, folks. Alan Watts. He's a cool dude. I like his voice, too. He's got one of those voices where when he says something, you kind of feel like a little bit of an idiot because he says it so clearly and concisely. And it almost sounds like he almost has this like kind of a parent vibe to him, I would say. But what do I know? I'm just a DJ on the radio. Here's Streamline by Motric, Polynation Broadcast, groundzeroplus.com. Let's get in.
Just
Gonna let the music play a little bit here. This is Flock by Jane Weaver on the Polynation broadcast live on GroundZeroPlus.com.
the changing of the world, the breaking of it all. We miss you. Don't want the battleground, the battleground. We miss you. We need the harmony, the harmony. We miss you. Save us if you can. Seek a better place. Seek a better place. Each day, each day.
It's the Polynation broadcast. We're live, by the way. Yeah, I'm really sitting here in my studio, my hidden greenhouse in the middle of the city up here in Toronto, Canada. That tune was called Saturn We Miss You, and you may have heard a familiar voice in there, maybe? Yeah, that's the guy from Yes, John Anderson, with a band called Trip the Witch. Maybe I should have played that on Halloween. Yeah, the song's called Saturn We Miss You. I don't know why it's... Like, how do you miss a planet? But, because it's always there, even when you're not looking at it. A lot of stuff in space. So many things in space. I'm gonna say it. 3-Eye Atlas. Oh, no, we're not going to talk about 3-Eye Atlas, are we? Yes, we are. We're going to talk just a little bit about 3-Eye Atlas. But it's coming from the same direction as the WOW signal. Everything comes from that direction if it's in our galaxy. Because we're on the edge of our galaxy. You see that little spiral thing, right? Everything comes out. We're it's spinning, right? So things get thrown out. And where do they go? They usually travel from the center out to the edge. Or the margins. That word keeps coming up. Most things come from that direction. When you look at the constellation Sagittarius, you're kind of looking into the center of the galaxy. Now, that's not to say it's not an interstellar object. It still kind of technically is. But if something comes from the other direction, that means it came from outside of our galaxy. Do you see what I'm saying here? That's a real interstellar object. And yeah, there's lots of weird things going on with 3-Eye Atlas because we've never seen anything like it. We haven't been here that long. To think that we've seen everything there is to see in the galaxy and we can just put it in a box and label it and be, comfortable in knowing that, well, that's clearly what it is. We haven't seen everything yet, folks. There's going to be other things that we haven't seen. You'll see. There's a lot of, what do you call it? Ado. That's what we'll call it. Hey, I actually used Shakespeare. I gotta phone my English teacher and tell her she was right. One of these days I will use Shakespeare. Much ado about nothing. Ado means fuss, commotion, kerfuffle, if you will. Well, there's a dude on the internet. He's got a YouTube channel. The channel's called 3 of 7. Gotta give him credit. And he's just a regular old redneck. Probably lives in Tennessee. ex-Navy SEAL. And he's a very intelligent person, even though sometimes he doesn't really sound intelligent. He is. He got something to say about Three Eye Atlas, and it's very interesting because all the other stuff, I almost called it crap, that we hear about Three Eye Atlas is just speculative distraction, in my opinion. Things fly around in space. I mean, it happens. And it's probably always been happening. We've just now developed the technology where we can see it. If it's even real. I'm not saying it isn't real, but I haven't personally seen it. I think it's very hard for an amateur astronomer, which I am not even, to get a scope on this thing. I wonder if anyone's done that. I should look. Anyways, this guy from 307, listen to what he says about Three Eye Atlas.
Out for a while, but you know what? It's deer season. That's just the way it is. Somebody asked me the other day what I thought about the inappropriate hug between J.D. Vance and Charlie Kirk's wife. I thought about it for a while, and I got 3 words to say to it about it. I don't care. I don't care. Or I guess I could say, I don't give a crap. Whichever one you choose to accept. But anyways, I saw this thing about this interstellar object. What do they call it? Three Eye Atlas. Everybody's all, looking at this thing. Apparently it's shown signs of accelerating at a different rate than, gravity should be affecting it. Which would mean that it's somehow has some sort of propulsion, right? It's changing colors. It's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Looked at I seen the pictures of it. It's a pretty odd looking thing. I got darn hair in my mouth. Yeah, the Three Eye Atlas, and everybody's so excited about this and wondering what the crap it is. Well, I wonder why. Well, I guess Christian people, I wonder why they'd get so ooh and ahhing over this interstellar object that might be some sort of, extraterrestrial thing. Like, oh, we finally found out there's an extraterrestrial thing. We finally found it out. Well, look, man, if you read the Bible, you ought to already know that there are many extraterrestrial beings. Many, all right, of different types. There is apparently, according to the Holy Bible, a type of created extraterrestrial being that is so close to human being that once in the history of humanity, whatever this other extraterrestrial being is actually came to Earth and procreated with human beings. It's this type of extraterrestrial being is so close genetically or whatever, and it obviously has a body, that it actually was able to reproduce with human beings and create some sort of strange hybrid race of being. Look, man, the future will be filled with all of this stuff about extraterrestrial beings. Don't worry, it's going to keep on getting more and more. Eventually, they're going to make contact with them, probably be talking to them, probably have proof. Look, it's all going to be happening. It's already happened before. There's nothing new under the sun. We're going to see some crazy stuff. Maybe not us. We might be dead, but at some point, there's people going to see some crazy stuff, It's all going to be part of the Great Deception. think of how many people are going to see the evidence or the proof of extraterrestrial beings. Think of how many people are going to use that to disprove the existence of God, when if you want to read some of the wildest extraterrestrial being accounts, you can go and read the Bible, which is the Word of God. Think about that. How stupid, are you going to be to try to say this extraterrestrial being proves that God doesn't exist? These are all created beings, man. Some of them real close to humans. We don't know what they're doing. I'm sure some of them are good, some of them are evil. Like the rest of these created beings out here. Yeah, they're going to be coming around. We don't know when. It's going to keep going that direction. Is AI Atlas an extraterrestrial thing? Well, I'm going to tell you what, as somebody that knows pretty much everything about space, I'll say, yeah, it probably is extraterrestrial. You might want to keep an eye on that jewel. Well, that's all I wanted to check in with you guys about today. It was just on my mind. I'm fishing to get out here back into deer woods. Killed a monster bull elk this year. Seen a couple of nice bucks out here, already. It's just getting good.
hope the sun is shining where you are. It's shining here. Saw a photograph in the greenhouse of some white stuff. They call it snow or something like that. Here comes winter. Oh, I hate snow so much. Because I live in a city and snow stays white for about 3 seconds and then it turns gray or brown. And it's full of salt. And it eats away at your shoes and your boots. And it's just salty. It makes me salty. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't stay. Yeah, I get it. It looks pretty. Whatever. I have no use for it. Okay? I don't ski. I don't like winter sports. I don't skate. I have no use for it. Why do I live in Canada? I don't know. Not complaining. I'm just explaining. I mean, yeah, with all the... Just wait until other things start flying into our solar system. Because I think... What I wanted to say about this before I drop this rock like it's hot is that I think maybe we don't know anything at all about space. Or at least what they know, they're not telling us. A better way to put it would be like Crow 777 put it. Space has been misdescribed. I mean, even if you look at... I've always been fascinated with space. But there's some things that happen in space that make me think like it's not a vacuum. Like, when you watch any solar footage of like CMEs or stuff like that, and you watch the way these coronal mass ejections fly away from the sun, it doesn't look like it's in a vacuum. It reminds me of like if you put food coloring in water. Does anyone else see that? Like how is it that a solar flare or CME, a big, hundreds of times the magnitude of Earth's mass, just gets spewed out of the sun and it moves in a certain way? How does it do that if it's in a vacuum? That doesn't make any sense to me. At least the physics I was taught, that shouldn't happen unless there's something there that's not a vacuum. Maybe it's a liquid. Maybe space is a liquid. That would explain a lot of stuff, right? What would also confuse the hell out of all the NASA people. I don't know. It's a theory that I'm entertaining it. Let's put it that way. There could be... I mean, we've always been taught that space is a complete... There's nothing in space. The side that's... if you're in space, the side that's facing the sun is 400 degrees. And the side that's not facing the sun is minus 400 degrees. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, does it? It doesn't make any sense to me. But apparently that's what happens when you're in space. The difference between sunlight and shadow is like crazy amount of degrees that we can't even measure with our own thermometers. Yet they know. Okay. Just think about that next time you see anything in space. It could be, instead of floating, well, what else can you float in? Water. Just throwing that out there. Before I play this tune by one of my favorite bands of all time. Seen them twice. They're amazing. I hope they come back. I hope I didn't miss them. They have a new record. It's called Buddhist Hipsters. The band I'm talking about is called The Orb. This is the Polynation broadcast. We're in the greenhouse. This song is called Doll's House. A lot of good-looking dolls in the greenhouse, too. You should come check it out, groundzeroplus.com. Get in the chat room. Here it is, Doll's House by The Orb. On the Polynation broadcast, groundzeroplus.com. We're going to keep the show lighter now. Maybe have a laugh or two as well.
My mind is strong. will not permit my mind to dwell on any thought or anything that is not harmonious. My mind is filled with love, joy, peace, love, joy, peace, love, joy, my mind is strong and healthy. I will not permit my mind to dwell on any thought or anything that is not harmonious. My mind is filled with love, joy, peace.
Now, Australia ruled. I only had one negative experience while I was there, and it was I got bullied. I got made fun of publicly by a goth. They still have goths, dude. Full on black trench coat, black eyeliner. I'll give him credit in his defense. The reason he was making fun of me is because I was wearing a bucket hat. There were no black people on the island. I was taking fashion chances the whole time. That's the thing about these countries. I was just in England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia. No black people. And I know what you're thinking. No. No, you need black people. You need black people to keep the whites in check. The last thing you want is a whole island of whites that think they're the coolest people on earth. It's a disaster. That's how you end up with Conor McGregor's walking around like, It's like, shut up, dude. American whites, we're humble. We know we're not the coolest guys around. It's the foreign whites, dude. Yes! Preach, brother! Yeah. There's a reason every good NBA player that's white is from another country. The audacity to think you could play in that league, dude. The fucking arrogance. Every white dude in America saw a black kid dunk in like 8th grade and was just like, oh, all right. Just set picks for the next 4 years. Just box out hard as hell. White people used to be cool in America. Long time ago, dude. The height of white people being cool was us going, we're like, man. That was as cool as we got. We're like, man, see? Man. And then the day white people stopped being cool, it was Jackie Robinson's first game. You can find it. You can find the radio call from that game online. You can hear the exact moment white people stopped being cool. You can hear the announcers. They still got, they're like, man. Welcome to Chicago, where the White Sox take on the Brooklyn Dodgers. And we all had cool white nicknames. Like, up at the mound is Old Curly. He's a 47-year-old alcoholic. He's the greatest athlete alive. Runs a 6-second 40-yard dash. Fastest man alive, they say. And Jackie came up to the plate. You can hear the announcers like, meh. Coming up to the plate is a young colored boy from Brooklyn. No way he can hit Curly's pitch. Here comes the pitch. Fuck, home run. All right. That was it, dude. Jackie hit the ball so hard he knocked that voice out of all the whites. Not one of us has talked like that since. Dude, one swing of the bat, we're like, man. All right, yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's time for us to focus on computers.
Yeah, this Luna Lounge, Polynation Broadcast regular. I just love those guys. I don't know, there's something about their artwork, their music, everything about them. They might not even be real people, might be AI, but whatever. Good job, guys. Love your tunes. So, I'm a huge fan of comedy. You may have noticed that Shane Gillis, he's got funnier stuff, but I thought that one was appropriate for the week. We've just had so much garbage going on this week. Apparently people are upset about, or happy, I guess you get that with everything now. You get the group of people that's upset, and you get the group of people that's upset at the people who are upset, because they're happy. They got what they wanted. I don't know, the mayor thing? What's the big deal? It's a mayor. They don't really do anything. Why did you vote? I have so many questions about this. Anyways, this is the reason why I like comedy. I don't think anyone's ever started an argument over a joke. I mean, you can roast a joke. That's more fun. But I think I use comedy as kind of like maybe it's kind of an escape mechanism from and comedy's in a really good spot right now, I feel like. It's kind of almost reminiscent of the 90s. We got some, because in the 90s people weren't so offended easily. And I think maybe we might be turning back to that. Or at least fans of comedy consider that it's a fucking joke. And that if you get offended by it, then you didn't get the joke. And I love comedy because laughter is not only healing, there's a lot of brain chemistry that happens when you laugh. A lot of physiological stuff happens inside of you when you laugh. You may not realize it. There's groups of people that they do things called laugh therapy. I don't know. This would be funny to watch. Where people they laugh on purpose. So... And apparently it's they take it as seriously as something like Tai Chi. Groups of people, 30 to 50 people in a room, and they're all forcing themselves to laugh out loud. That's got to be a sight to see. And it would probably sound kind of weird. But I'm not sure if that laughter even works. Apparently to them it does. Even if it's voluntary laughter. I prefer involuntary laughter. Not so much when I'm taking a sip, but you know what I mean? I like the unexpected. Things that just make you laugh. Out loud. Like this.
The average person laughs out loud 10 times a day. Not everyone, obviously. If you work in a hospice or with learning disabled adults, could be 10 times that.
I don't know if you guys know this, but plants really like house music. And they also like death metal. So, this is some Catfish House by Eddie C. and LJ Simon. And this is the Polynation broadcast on GroundZeroPlus.com. Get it. Polynation broadcast. I'm Polly. Some people call me Polly G. I don't mind that either. Whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner, as they say. I'm usually the one making dinner anyways. It's that season. Speaking of food. It's harvest season. People are doing stuff in the greenhouse with their food, preserving it, doing all kinds of stuff, getting it ready for storage, saving the seeds. It's one of the most important things you can do, especially now. If you're going to complain about the price of groceries, you better learn how to grow something. I mean, it's fun. You'll like it. It's not that hard. It does take some time, though. You can't just, it takes a while to get your soil good. It takes a while to get your garden established so that you can literally treat it like a grocery store. Unless you live where I live, where you get snowed on for 3 months of the year. So looking forward to that. I love winter. I love snow. No, I don't. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I hate it. I wish I could have a year-round garden. Because if I could, I would totally have a year-round garden, and anytime I wanted a vegetable, I'd just walk out to the garden and get one. For free. Take that to the grocery store. I mean the bank. Or you could even sell it to the grocery store and then take it to the bank. There's some farmers in here in the greenhouse over here at groundzeroplus.com. And relatives of farmers. I found something really interesting while I was mucking about on the YouTubes. As you probably gathered, what with it being Polynation broadcast and we have a greenhouse, I have an almost unhealthy fascination with anything to do with plants, trees, mushrooms, anything in the forest, actually, now that I think about it, because animals are in there too. I haven't done a lot of shows about animals. Only cats. There are cats in the greenhouse, so if you're allergic, oh well. It's just how it is. You can become, immune to certain cats if you spend enough time around them. I've heard people with allergies. I feel so bad for people with allergies. Especially cat allergies or dog allergies. Because those two animals just love being touched. And if you can't touch them because you're allergic, then you suck to them. Just saying. So I found this thing. I've never heard of it before, but apparently I can go buy it in the Chinese market. It's called peach resin. And I thought, okay, they're pressing the peach stones or something like that. No, it comes from the tree. It's the sap. Check this out. I'll just make sure I don't have myself. There we go. Okay, check this out.
Have you ever seen this before? These amber jello-like crystals are peach resin, a natural sap that exudes from the peach tree. I first learned about this when I was in China as part of a medicinal soup we had that was made with lion's mane, goji berry, and peach resin. It is earthy, slightly sweet, and deeply nourishing, considered a true tonic for the body and skin. My tree over here is exuding it, so I'm excited to share some of the benefits of it with you. In traditional Chinese medicine, this peach resin is considered a beauty food, supporting radiant skin, inner calm, and nourishing longevity and vitality. It's high in collagen and loaded with antioxidants, which help hydrate the skin, improve elasticity, and work with reducing those fine lines and wrinkles. Peach resin is also naturally high in fiber and arabinogalactans, which help with digestion, also working with anti-inflammatory effects in the gut as well as throughout the body. Arabinogalactans in particular have some really promising research in their support of the microbiota and the whole colon and digestive tract, but also in stimulating natural killer cells and being helpful for cancer and potentially tumor metastasis. So if you've got your own peach tree or you know somebody that does, I highly recommend you harvest this resin. And if you don't have access to a peach tree, well, you can always get it in Chinatown at the herb store. It's got an earthy sweet flavor, so it's easy to add into desserts or drinks or put it into a soup. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting and that you get out and start to work with peach resin.
So yeah, I didn't know about peach resin. That's a new one for me. And I thought I would share that with you guys. I know some of you in the greenhouse are interested in herbal medicine, so to speak, or natural remedies. That's what we should call it, just to be on the safe side. Natural remedies. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice ever. So keep that in mind too. I mean, I could give suggestions on who to ask, but that, you know, we just heard that was the Herbal Jedi. I sometimes pop by his channel. Because he goes into the medicinal properties and he gets very specific, almost scientific, you could say, but not overwhelmingly, with words that I don't understand. But it seems like this stuff does a lot of good. You know, it's not just a one area that it works on. It seems like it's kind of it's very diverse. Like, you can use it for your gut, you can use it for your skin. It works on the inside of the body and the outside of the body. And apparently it tastes good. I've never had it. I'm definitely going to go look for it, and I'll report back when I find some what it tastes like. I imagine it. I'm hoping it tastes a little bit like peaches, but I don't think I've ever eaten the sap of any tree other than maple syrup. So, I mean, this opens up a whole new chapter, I guess. For me, at least. What other tree sap can we eat? I mean, I've tasted pine sap by accident. You know, when you're a kid, you climb a pine tree, you come down, you're all sticky. It doesn't taste good. It's horrible, actually. And this stuff, I know you couldn't see it. It's not like normal sap. It almost looks like Jell-O. It's really funny looking. It doesn't look like sap at all. I mean, I thought it was a fungus when I first saw it. Like some kind of jelly fungus. But nope. It's peach sap, folks. Get it on you, apparently. So in about 15 minutes or so, it's that time, 4:20. At least it is where I am. That's Eastern time. I'll be stopping the show. Spend some time with the greenhouse. And all the listeners in there at groundzeroplus.com. We'll stop the show and shout you out. But until then, here's Untitled number 3 by Girlfriend's Archive on the Polynation broadcast. GroundZeroPlus.com, Polynation broadcast. That was Phase 09 dash Sombrero by Solar Fields. Yeah, I've never heard of them either, but it's a pretty cool tune. I like that one. It is that time, 4:20 p.m. Eastern, where we shout out the Greenhouse. And if you're just listening and you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, the Greenhouse is what I call the chat room during my show on GroundZeroPlus.com. That's 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern time every Saturday and Sunday. And there's people in there. And we chat while the show's on. And these people are here every weekend. And some of the biggest supporters of the show that I can think of. And so I just want to say hello to all of you. Like Rio and Clyde and Colt and Aniki and Dez and Mike Mont and Mitch Durbin and Lisa and Eric Datsun Focus. Taco Cat. I read your name backwards this time. Mad Catter. Mr. B. And Deborah G. Some new faces. Welcome to the greenhouse, folks. And I'm so happy you're here. I hope you're enjoying the show. I am. It's a chill show. Most of my shows are chill shows, actually, now that I think about it. Haven't been on a good rant in a while, have I? Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Oh, speaking of tomorrow, tomorrow will be if you're expecting Psychedelic Sunday, well, you'd be right. It's going to be 60s and 70s, Psychedelic Sunday, as usual. We love these shows. You guys seem to like them, and I love doing them. So, because it's like some of my favorite music of all time. The only caveat with those shows is that I can personally archive them, but I can't post them anywhere. At least not on YouTube. This show, probably not a problem. Because, as I like to say, the Polynation broadcast is the mycelium of underground sounds. And not only that, it's not just sounds. Sometimes a little mushroom will pop up. A little mushroom of information. Hopefully useful information. That people didn't know about. And maybe it would inspire somebody to do something they've never done before, like try peach resin in a soup. Or various other things. Anywho, my sincere gratitude to all in the greenhouse. I love you all. I look forward to seeing you every weekend. Seriously. I can't thank you enough. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Because without you, it'd be pretty boring in here. I'd just be posting gifs to myself. Making jokes to myself. And then I would have to respond to myself so I wouldn't feel alone. That's called a callback, folks. So also, oh yeah, next weekend. I think I'm 90% sure this is going to happen. Next Saturday, that's November 15th, I'm going to be having a guest on the show who is a medicine man from the Apache tribe. I think he lives in Texas. And I've always wanted to talk to a real medicine man or a shaman. Or is there a difference? One of the questions I plan on asking. So that should be fun. I hope to learn a lot that day, and I hope you do too. Tune in next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. First half hour, as usual, we like to make our guests feel comfortable. Put them in the green room. We got Starlight on tap in there. And we listen to some tunes to set the mood. And set the table. So that's hopefully 90% sure that's going to happen. So yeah, tune in for that. That'll be a fun one. And if it doesn't happen then, it'll happen eventually. Because I like talking to people sometimes, listening to music, at least for me sometimes, all the time, is, it gives me time to interact with the chat room. But I got stuff to say sometimes. I want to talk to people, learn stuff, get people's opinions, perspectives, ideas, backgrounds. I don't know, people fascinate me. Especially people that are interested in stuff that I'm interested in. And who wouldn't be into talking to a medicine man? That's going to be good. So I do have 35 minutes left. What are we going to do? I was going to play a tune that I made, but I have to do something to it first, so I'm not going to do that until next week. Maybe not even next week. Maybe the week after. Let's just say I think I know how Deadmau5 makes his music. It's very... Let's just say you don't need a lot of prompts to make this kind of stuff, and I kept the lyrics really short and simple because we all know what Rio likes to do to music sometimes, and the last time he did that to stuff I made using Suno, it kind of scared the shit out of me, so I stopped doing it. At least with lyrics. So I guess that's always in the back of my head now when I'm playing around with this stuff, is what's it going to sound like if it gets reversed? I sometimes even write out my lyrics backwards just to make sure that it can't be reversed in some kind of perverse way. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. It's something I'm struggling with, artistically speaking. It might be a roadblock, but it also might be cool. If you could do it on purpose, it might be useful even. Because whenever someone plays music backwards, it's always not a good message. It's always like satanic or like something evil. But what if you could do it on purpose and you could put something in there that was not evil? Maybe a joke, or maybe something positive. Does that work? I don't even know. And we were talking in the greenhouse about whether or not there would be sound in space. I used to think no. But then, if you go online, you can look up videos where they say, here's what the moon of Mars sounds like. And it's making a noise. So, I would say there's forms of sound in space. Whether or not a human ear would be able to pick them up, probably not. A lot of them probably not. But we have equipment that can. So does that mean there's no sound in space? I don't know anymore. I think there is, just not the sound that we hear on Earth. Because you need an atmosphere to make sound. Kind of. I mean, I wonder if you just clap your hands in space, nothing happens? I think about these things sometimes. I'm not going to even try to answer that. I'm just going to say that without answering it, there's probably some kinds of sound in space, but we can't hear it unless we use crazy technology. Seriously, go look up the sound of Saturn. It's a radio frequency, I think, they're translating some kind of frequency into a sound that we can hear, yes, but it's still making a sound. I'm arguing with myself. I can't believe it. Okay, let's get back into some more tunes. We are going to go with... Oh, yeah, let's do this one. It's Sewell and the Gong. Rough Doug. The song's called Quiet Storm. And this is the Polynation broadcast on GroundZeroPlus.com.
divisive. Anger keeps, when you're angry, you push against something. Anger is divisive. Anger is divisive. Anger is divisive. Anger keeps, when you're angry, you push against something. When you push against something, it separates you. It defines what isn't you.
I am from Connecticut. I came with the Foundresses in 1964.
We make and sell about 25 to 30 caskets a week. They go all over the country. Every day we're flying caskets to the East Coast, to the West Coast, all 50 states. We've recently opened a distributorship in Canada. So we're pretty much covering North America. However, having said that, we are a small outfit. We're very finite. Our manufacturing design kind of caps us at about 10 caskets a day, and we don't have any interest in transcending that, even if the market asks for it. So we know who we are. We're very comfortable with our business model, our modest approach to business, and we have no illusions about making this larger than it needs to be. So
The silence is very important. The silence is what allows us to live together closely in solitude. The solitude is not being alone a lot. It is more the ability to live with people very closely without having to constantly communicate ideas, opinions, the hopes and the fears that just run through our minds constantly. It's finding that balance at any given moment. And right at this moment, I really want to just try to convey to you whatever it is that would be uplifting in your life. And if that's successful, then that's a wonderful prayer. And if it's not, that's okay. I've done what I can do.
My job is mostly to assemble the pieces into panels. And so I pull those pieces off and I'm looking at them and examining them for the grain, trying to match the grain and the color. Handling them over and over again. All day long, I have my hands on the wood. And then they're glued together into pieces, and then those pieces are taken somewhere else and assembled together and sanded some more, and the handles and the hinges are put on, and someone else sprays it and staples the upholstery and everything in it, and then it's finally lifted onto a rack, and at some point taken off the rack, put in a box, put on the trunk to go away until it's finally handled the last time by that person's loved ones and family, the pallbearers, as they put it in the ground.
Most years we cover close to 100% of our annual normal operating expenses, and most of that is through the candy business. Our staple is the caramel. That's what we're really known for. Something along the line of 30 tons a year, I think, of caramel in one form or another.
You've been listening to a recording of the Polynation broadcast. All rights reserved. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me today, folks. I'm going to leave you with A Mother for Your Mind by The Herbalizer. And of course, I'll see you tomorrow.